Hello, everybody, and welcome back for episode 388 of my grandiose journey to the Farlands. Let's get into the world and get walking. I'm doing a bit of an earlier episode today, just because I'm a bit sick of doing a whole bunch of work, so I want to just chill, take a bit, and just walk and journey. I think that's what I'm going to do. Good escape. Good escape. I was actually gonna do the server tonight, or play on the server, but I don't got really enough time, I don't think, with how busy I am. It would be wise not to get too invested in the world tonight, or the server. So it's a journey for probably about an hour, or the usual run of things. Now, do I know what I'm going to talk about? Not really. I feel like it'd be. I should have gotten the idea. Oh, I'm just on a rampage with these creepers. Holy! But I feel like being this far into a world like this, almost 400 episodes, that I would have an actual idea of what to talk about each episode, and I do. And this is also a once a week series now, so that's even more reason for me to have stuff to talk about. I guess it's not that I don't have stuff to say, but I just don't think about it that much. Maybe I could come up with ideas throughout the week, but time is fickle, and I I don't remember stuff, and I don't really bother to write it down if I do think of anything. So, yeah, nothing crazy going on, nothing groundbreaking. I've started testing out a brand new schedule. That's what I've been doing, something new. I know I discussed that not too long ago about starting a schedule, and I've got a loose one going. I'm working it out. I think I want to do Journey to the Farlands on Fridays, Subnautica on I guess Thursdays for now. Yeah, at least the last episode I did was yesterday, Thursday. Um, my beta Minecraft World will be on Monday. My brand new supermarket simulator series will be on Sundays. I don't think I talked about that yet. Well, yeah, I guess there has been a little bit of stuff that has happened. I once a week journey episodes hit different. It actually gives me stuff to say. Speaking of um, what I was talking about earlier, I guess it occurs to me that I have things I need to talk about. But yeah, a lot has been happening. And what is the other series? The server. I don't really know what's happening with the server. What I'm gonna do with uploading it. I might just do it whenever I feel like it. Loosely try to do it every once every 2 weeks or something. And if I get into it, I can do more. But I think that's how I'm gonna do it because that's a lot already. On top of school, on top of work, that's a lot. But I really want to do some, mess around with some fun series for the time being, and actually get through some stuff. That'd be cool. Preferable. Cool little clay block there. Just the lonely piece of clay. But yeah, that is that. I don't got much else to say on the new stuff. I guess I could start talking about the new stuff. That would be good, wouldn't it? I have started, of course, like I said, Supermarket Simulator. I started a series on that. So that's like my second non-Minecraft series I'm doing currently, which is pretty good for me. I guess technically there is Lethal Company, but I don't really know what's happening with that. I know Devin had a new group of people that he wanted to do Lethal with at some point. I don't know if I'll be streaming that. That was also quite some time ago, so I don't think anything's really come of it. So, yeah, I don't think Lethal's happening, which is okay. It's been many months. I was kind of in a lull with it for a while. Where I was like, it's a series, but it's just there. I'll return to it when I return to it. It's not, I don't think it really warrants that kind of scheduling because it's kind of hard to round people up, and it's also, I don't know. I don't think it's really my most popular series. A lot of them aren't, I guess. I think it's really Journey that brings everyone back, which is fair. Journey is a good world, and it is my favorite of my, of my series. So I'm not gonna deny that fact. And the fact that the journey also has the most episodes. There's a lot going on this world here. But it's always nice to get back to this world, though. I always like it. I don't think about it that much, I'll be honest. I'm so busy with other stuff. I hardly have time to think about the time that I can allot for this world. I'm just like, it's my one time a week to really enjoy the journey. Oh, cow. Just interjecting like that into the conversation. So rude, so rude. But we'll keep going. Well, I would say I'm getting close to 8 million, but I think 8 million is quite far from where I am now. I'll be honest. If I check my notebook, where is my notebook? Right here. I've been in this part of 7 million for a long time. Yeah, right about the start of September. I've hardly gone over 100,000 since September, which is not surprising because once a week. I was impressed that I was able to go, a week or two with like multiple episodes a week. I couldn't do that now, especially with the scheduling thing. And it seems to be working out fairly good. Just messing around, trying new things for the channel and whatnot. Brand new stuff. And I've got plenty more bucket list things I want to try, but I'll save them for another point in time because I feel like if I were to try anything else now, I'm just like, I'd have to start getting rid of stuff. And usually in the past, if I had like 4 or 5 series, I'd be getting rid of some left and right, but I'm kind of good with it right now, If I do like 1 stream a week on each of them, then it's okay. Because I do need like the time to just chill and play games and stuff like I'm doing now. So yeah, that gives me a good opportunity, and that's good guidance for what I could play on a given night. But yeah, what else have I been up to? I've been playing. I recently got into 2 Point Hospital again, which is a hospital building game. I think it's the same creators as Theme Hospital. The same like thing. That whole, whole thing. So yeah, I've been playing that game, and I got 2 Point Campus as well recently. I've been playing that a lot. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I forgot how fun those games were. Holy. I've got some real nice games in my library just kicking around. And going back to them, yeah, they're pretty good. And I like 2 Point Campus, especially with like the autonomy. I like some kind of autonomy in games. I like the game kind of coming up with things for me to do rather than me having to think of everything, because I find, of course, in Minecraft, you make your own fun in this game, and you make your own fun in a good handful of games. That's a good chunk of the experience. But I do like the occasional game that can just kind of give you objective and whatnot. There's loose objectives in Minecraft, but you don't necessarily have to meet it. Well, you don't actually necessarily have to meet those other things that I talked about either, but I feel like they're more like pushing you in that direction. This, Minecraft, you just thrown in and you just do whatever. And I think that's great. It's epic. It's the tale of Minecraft. And yeah, it's amazing. It's really cool. And it's been a little bit interesting going down memory lane with Devin a bit about some of our old worlds together. Well, mainly with the SMPs, of course, because that's like in modern times our worlds. They were originally just worlds we'd play whenever we hung out or whatever, but they turned into something much more different. And now, of course, we just have our server together. And it's always interesting to think back on some of the old worlds. I feel like I'm very what's the word? I guess brutally honest. I'm very like You know, I can just it's like a glass onion basically. Looking back at like those worlds, I could just see all the flaws now. And back then, it was trying to navigate, you know, having flaws in a world, and yeah, it was just that story of beating a dead horse basically in the end. And that's what it was this year, even too. For as nice as Newcraft 1 was this year. The second Newcraft, crazy Newcraft, came and went 2 times, that SMP of mine. Still hard to get my head wrapped around that fact. Even though I did push for this new server to be called Newcraft because I was like, yeah, you know, a new rebirth of an old thing. Well, and by old I mean, well, I guess it is 4 years old in just a matter of weeks now, so it is rather old now. But that was like, I guess, my real interest in Minecraft came about around that time, at least in Minecraft Survival, and it's been just figuring out how I really enjoy the game in Survival since then. And I'm just like, yeah, we'll just do whatever, you know, just like any game, you just do whatever. I do strategize a little bit, of course, like with anything, but I just generally like to do what I want to do, and I think that's enough. The biggest thing that stopped me in a lot of multiplayer worlds was other people. Not necessarily being limited by other people, but well, I guess that is true. But I'm more meaning like people just not really being interested in the worlds. Not really being, you know, there's one, you know, not being able to play is one thing, but I feel like a lot of people just kind of tossed it off to the side. And if I was going to do some kind of server, I'm not expecting something grandiose or epic. Not anymore. Maybe years ago I would have said something different. But, you know, it's like something that I dream of having, but it's not something that I think would be attainable at my the current state of things. I think the best I can do is a small group, like Newcraft, how that was this year. Newcrafts 1 and 2. Those were pretty good. Newcraft 2 it had some potential, and it just kind of, I think I wasn't really in it to win it, and by the time that I got back into it, most people had kind of left at that point. Apart from trusty Devin, always around, always reliable. But yeah, it's something I think is not impossible to have like a world like that, and I think that'd be a cool thing for not only keeping me motivated in a world, but I think it would be cool for just like a series, you know, something apart from Journey to bring people. You know, you could come to the channel for Journey, and then it's like, oh, look at all this other stuff, and actually having other stuff that's meaningful and not just a few episodes and done. You know, I'm not even gonna bother with that boat. Not gonna bother with it. Just keep going. Carry on. But I know I've talked about it to death, and I've made like endless comments over the years about the worlds, but they do mean a lot to me as well. For as much as Journey is important to me, I think having a thing, you know, a social thing like that is also pretty neat. It's just having the right people is the thing, because a multiplayer Minecraft world requires a lot, especially if you want it to go on for like more than like just a few weeks kind of thing. It requires a lot out of multiple people, and that's not easy to coordinate. You can do things to help with that issue, but really it's down to what the person actually wants, you know, the members. And if what they want to do doesn't really it doesn't really mean like or involve anything with the server, they just not really interested, then I think the server itself is not really optimal. And I've also found that multiplayer worlds especially also tend to have a certain level of division, which, I mean, I'm not completely it's not that I'm not part of the problem. I've definitely contributed to that, and I don't think that's necessarily a problem that people are in separate areas. I think there needs to be some kind of coordination between everybody and agreement, which we had in Newcraft this year, and it went really well with like kind of the unanimous stuff, and basically being like, if anyone has any second thoughts, then they can let us know, and we'll reconsider. It was a lot more systematic, I guess, a lot less dictatorial or whatever. I don't know what you'd call it. It used to just be like me and Devin or whatever making decisions for a server of like a dozen people, because it was hard to round a dozen people up to make decisions on things, which I think is telling enough. If you can't round a lot of people up, I think that says something about the world. So that will always kind of be like a bucket list thing for me. Is it something that I'm going to actually be able to do or execute anytime soon? Probably not. And quite frankly, I don't really want to do something like that for quite some time, like from now, because the past, 4 years I've been chasing after a kind of world like that, and it's a bit exhausting. I'm a bit exhausted after trying for so long, and I need a break. I need a good long break before I go back to that effort, if I ever am. It might just be a case of that being that, and I just move forward with whatever I'm doing now, which I think is not a bad idea. And who's to say that the world with Devin can't become something like that in the future if we were to bring other folks in, which I don't think we would bring tons and tons of people. It's not going to become what Newcraft once was, nor is it going to become what I would ideally want or wish for. I mean, not want. It's kind of more of like an aspiration than an actual tangible thing that I could actually, execute. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess. It's kind of been a bit of a duality over a long time, especially when Journey was really prosperous. I blamed a lot of the faults of the old worlds on Journey, actually. I was like, Journey is taking up so much of my time. This, and this. But in reality, if I wanted to play on the worlds, I very well could have. I had no pressure in playing Journey. That was because I wanted to do it. I did not want to play on the servers, because I found that really I thrive the most on a world when there's other people doing things and reasons for me to play. I don't really have much of a desire to play single player Minecraft. If I'm not doing something exterior, or like Journey, or my beta world where I'm playing in beta, I've always wanted to do that. I feel like it's difficult for me to play solo Minecraft. Period. I mean, it is tricky, because I find that my motivation tends to waver a lot unless there's like other things involved, other external things, which I mean makes sense after playing this game for so long, many years. So I do need some novelty and things. I call it heart. I guess you could call it novelty. I just mean like personality, to make me want to do something. What I mean by that is like, for like heart, I mean like, I guess mine and Devin's world, for example, when we started, we did like a mining trip and stuff. That was something that I hadn't done before. That was, well, I don't even think I did many group mining trips. I might have done, one or two in the past. I remember, I think in Java, I did a mining trip with Connor or something like that in one of the Java SMP. I did do a mining trip with Connor, but I think it was cool to do like an event mining trip with Devin, and I want to do more of that in that world. I think that's going to be the stuff that brings me back to it, and I think a lot of the worlds had that, but it went back to people, disagreements or people just plain being not interested, and I don't just mean like one or two people. That's fine. If one or two people are, and even if people want to take breaks and stuff, that's fine. Like that's not really the thing that I'm really addressing. It's more on this grand scale where it affects the whole server, affects the whole group, and I think recently it was just that finally being like, yeah, it's not worth trying for anymore, at least right now. It's not really worthwhile. It's causing a lot of problems, but not a lot of problems. So it's not working. And you just need to go back to the drawing board in the meantime. I think my world with Devin is a good solution. Temporarily. Well, not temporarily. There's not really... I don't have any plans after that. That's the final curtain for the time being. If anything were to happen similar to that, it would be in that world that I have with him. Because that is like the Minecraft world or whatever. Well, that's what I kind of want it to be, is the world, but we'll see. I got some plans. I was, like I said, going to do an episode with him tonight, but I might do another one at a different point, talking about some of my plans, because I do have some new plans that I might put into action at some point soon. I might have to grind a little bit more, better tools and stuff before I do that. But it's possible. It can happen. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys don't watch the other non-beta content or non-journey content specifically. But I just like talking about the servers and stuff. I feel like maybe you guys could get something out of it. Being like, yeah, that's, I relate to that. I've been on servers in the past that were like that, or I've even hosted servers or that kind of thing, because there's a lot of difficulty in it. It seems like something that's so much fun, and it is. That's why I try so hard for it, is because they're great. They're, some of the most fun I've ever had in this game is with other people. I think nothing really compares. Like Journey, for as much as I've enjoyed it, some of the other worlds have actually had moments that have made me way more excited, and it's just good. It's great. That's what brings me back to it, is that. But this is what's bringing me back now, after all that kind of fell through. So maybe you can relate to that a little bit. Maybe you can't, but hopefully that's kind of some interesting conversation, though, for me, not really having much of an idea of anything to talk about. That's one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot, especially after the last proper world like that ended. And the whole throwing things at the wall kind of stopped. It took a long time. I feel like I was very stubborn. But, well, all of us who are coming back and everything, me and Devin at least, were probably the most stubborn out of anyone in the group. Because other people will just kind of come back and be like, yeah, okay, I'll play on a new world. That's fun. But, yeah, I don't think there's really been something that I've done like that that's like just in a state that anyone could just come back anytime and just be like, it's great. It always feels like when I come back to worlds after a while, it just feels dead. And when I ask, about people playing and stuff, it's like, dead silence kind of thing. It's a bit of a, it's not very nice, I guess. And usually the easiest thing to do in those cases is just, just reset. And that's what I did many, many times. Probably well over a dozen, maybe even probably, well, not, I wouldn't say 24, but like I could probably count the amount of worlds we've had and the amount of resets we've done in like the past half a decade. Edis, Breedis, which was the first world, B Nation, Newcraft 1. What came after Newcraft 1? Newcraft 2, yes. Newcraft 1, Newcraft 2, Classic Craft, Newcraft 3, Newcraft Java Edition, The Fellowship, Newcraft 1 Part 2, which is different. It was kind of a reset from another world. So we're at 9. Newcraft 1 Part 2, yeah, so that's number 9. And then there was Sarber at the beginning of 2023. And then there was Java Seasons 1 and 2. Then me and Devin had Magnum Opus, but I'm not going to count that because that was just kind of an attempt at a survival world between me and Devin. It wasn't wholehearted. I think Minecraft with friends or Minecraft with Devin is probably the biggest attempt that we've had, and it's been going pretty well. So I was at I think about around 11 or something. Newcraft 1 Part 2 Server, so that's 10. Java's 1 and 2. Newcraft's 1 and 2 again. Yeah, that's a lot. That's 14. That's over a dozen worlds in the past 5 years. It doesn't sound like a lot of worlds, but you gotta remember that each of those worlds had an honest attempt put into it, you know. They were always, like, it was, yeah, some of them, maybe it wasn't quite as grandiose of a vision for that world, but all of them had that kind of idea of them being around for a while and kind of going into them with that in mind. So that's 14 worlds. And, you know, some people go through hundreds of worlds or dozens, but those, like, dozens, I don't really think much would happen in many of them. You know, it's like kind of just like, you know, create a world, make a new world, make a new world. It reminds me of like hardcore more so. Especially in like difficult mod packs or something where you'd be restarting constantly. But I wouldn't really consider that like I guess that's like 100 attempts, but it's not like 100 solid worlds that went on for a while. Like all of these 14 worlds went on for over a month or that kind of thing. And of course there's the most recent one with Devon, so that's 15. I'm on the 15th world, at least the 15th proper world. And that's not to say that we haven't gone back to earlier worlds or that kind of thing. That's happened a few times. Like I said with Newcraft 1 Part 2. I just consider that a different one just because that was kind of like a whole new arc for Newcraft that really fell on its face. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. On the 15th world. 14 restarts. That I'm probably never going to be able to get over. The fact. And here, I was like at the beginning of Newcraft Season 1, the original Newcraft Season 1 4 years ago. I was like seeing these videos in the YouTube algorithm about people, like SMPs, and you know, I watched one on a Bedrock SMP, a Bedrock Minecraft server, because Newcraft was Bedrock back then. That was when I played on my PlayStation. And I saw that the server that the person was showing off, they said they're in their, I think, 3rd or 4th world, or maybe it was their 5th world, I don't remember. But it was like in a matter of months they had gone through this many worlds. And there was one world that only lasted a few months, or that kind of thing. Like it was like very short world. And I was like, huh, you know, like a world that short, like what would go into that? And like the person was talking about how it was basically just them doing so much and getting like maxed out gear, and you know, all that happening so quick that they just didn't know what to do after a few months. And I was like, oh, that could never happen to me. And yeah, the snake eats its tail. History repeats itself. And lo and behold, that's actually what happened to Newcraft 2. And it happened to probably a good handful of other worlds. But I think Newcraft 2 is the biggest example. Back in 2021, I think that started. Newcraft 2. we all got, it was basically a beat for beat thing like that where we all just got really good and built crazy stuff and we just didn't really know what to do. It wasn't quite like that because we were still working on bases and stuff, but I feel like it was kind of like that where it's just so much happened in such a short period of time. I feel like more got built in that world than honestly would happen in the Newcraft 1 in the same period of time. I don't think any world since then has reached been at that pace of just how much crazy stuff has gone on. Sure, farms have been built and bases have been built in short periods of time since then, but I don't think a world's developed that quickly, and I don't think I'll see much of that in the future for quite some time, at least. So yeah, there's some an interesting example of me being like, that could never happen. Actually, maybe it was less of like that could never happen. It was more like of like, I don't want that to happen to my world. Like that like would serve as like an example of what not to do, and yet I did it. But well, that it is what it is. And what's the saying? Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. I think that's what that is. Whatever will be, will be. Yes, that is very very me thing to say. I feel like there's so many of these bloody Journey of the Farlands titles for episodes that are like that. It's not uncommon. Definitely far from uncommon for a series like this. Oh, let me break out the pencil. There we go. Oh, can I think of anything else anything else worth talking about? I don't got like comments or anything to talk about. I do have the 1,000 subscriber anniversary, which is coming up soon. I think I've mentioned that before. Oh, hello Cave Sound. I could talk about what I might want to do for 1,000 subscribers. I could do that. That would be a good idea. So yeah, that's coming up. Well, I don't know, of course, when it's coming up, but I mean, 900 subscribers. The channel has grown so much in the past few months. It's been crazy, especially like the past like month or so recently, more recently. Crazy growth. At least in my standards. I'm not thinking, of course, through like grand, big YouTuber standards, because I'm not that, and I don't really. Well, I think before I would say I don't really want to be like that, but if it were to happen, it is what it is, and I'd be grateful and be like forever grateful about that. But it's just something that it's like, yeah, it's not really something that I think is gonna happen, because I'm here for Journey and my other stuff, my experiments and whatnot, and I don't really know what happens after that. It's more of just, oh, I'm grabbing so much wool. I'm just in wool gathering mode. But I think that's not to say that I don't really like what I do for the channel. I wouldn't still be making videos or like streams if I didn't like it. I really do like it, but yeah, it is at the end of the day still a hobby, much like the gaming itself. And so there may come a time in the future where it's like, I don't really need to do that anymore. But for the time being, well, it's 1,000 subscribers, so I got to think of something I would like to do for that. And my ideas, as far as they go, I feel like a Journey event would be kind of cool. I think that would coincide nicely with Winter Wonderland. So that could be like 1,000 subscribers if I do get close to that, around there. I don't, I'm not really planning for that. I'm just kind of more so thinking about it because I can't really plan for stuff when I don't know when it's going to happen. But I figure for such a big goal, I might as well do something. So that's one thing I could do. And if it doesn't happen around that time, then I could definitely do some kind of like mega stream on something, or like a longer stream on something just for the fun of it and see where I get. Like just pick something to stream for a long time, like the world with Devin or that kind of thing. Like I think I did that with Newcraft, where I did like a really long episode and I edited it down. Or I like play for like an entire weekend and then I do an episode showcasing the progress. But I could do that live or something, something like long like that. I doubt many people would actually watch it. But it's just something kind of cool to do, just as like an experiment to see how far I could get. And I'd just be kind of just chilling the whole time, and people could come and join and hang out. And I could like, oh, look at that. I should get a screenshot of that. That's cool. People could just kind of hop in and see what's going on. I would do that with Journey, but I think that's a bit, I've done that a fair bit this past while with my streams. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to do a long stream like that, but I don't know if I really need to. I feel like I did so much in Farlands Anniversary and so much this year. It was such a year for Journey. Like I said, the other episode, I don't remember which one. But this was probably the most eventful year for Journey, and I'm not surprised. It's my kind of going out thing, going out party. Journey kind of wrapping up. Well, not wrapping up, but like the old Journey wrapping up, basically. I'm in a new stage of the journey now. The tree was kind of. I want to get like kind of close to it. There we go. There we have it. It would have been kind of cool to have gotten it with like the fog. Kind of like that. Fog is kind of a cool thing just for atmosphere. I don't know if I really need my render distance up this high. It's probably just it has the world size just crazy big. Like, is this? I feel like this is not bad either. It's a little bit, you can't see as much. But then again, the world size is smaller. But I've just been going at this way just so I can see stuff around me. I can't really configure the render distance, of course. It's really only the fog. And yeah, I can really bring it close. Like I can't even see the bottom of that. The fog is kind of crazy looking. Wouldn't have known how deep that was. I mean, I could tell from the fog that it's probably a deep drop. But still. Oh, I bet this is pretty cool. I should check this out. Oh wow, look at that. Cool. Cool snow place. That'd be cool for like Winter Wonderland, an area like that. Really any like non like flat snow biome would be good, ideally. Something like that would be like the dream. I love this, just a complete flat thing. Reminds me a bit of where the twin dogs fell off the cliff. It was not very nice, but a bit of a memory of that. In the journey, I mean. In case anyone was like, oh my god. That was Stuart the Second and Stuart the Second's clone. Because Stuart the Second's clone, I think, just appeared around that time. And I literally had like no time to name the dog. That was the only time I had like a dog clone itself. Very strange, very strange. Very odd, indeed. That was kind of strange. Oh. And a lot of people, actually, I think I've talked about when I'm reaching the Farlands. I think it'll be about another 2 years, but it's like 5 million blocks, or just under 5 now. 4 point something million. I plan to do a little bit of walking in December, but I don't know if I'll really do crazy walking anytime soon. I feel like I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say burnt out, but I feel like, well, burnt out is actually not a bad term for it. I'm just a little bit spent, I think, from doing all the streams this year. It's nice to have the time to just, I mean, yeah, focus on school, which isn't the most epic thing to do while taking a bit of a hiatus from mass journey-age. But still, oh, this is cool too. I like this just void mouth. I could probably break the lighting bug. Let's. I kind of want a screenshot of this. This could be a good thumbnail. Maybe. Journey thumbnails are nice. I can just find thumbnail worthy stuff as I go along. It's great. I wander through the nature donut here. It's not even a donut. I call it a nature's donut though. That goes back pretty far. Bit of flashback. Oh, yeah, I'm tired. I might have to wrap up the episode when the sun sets here. I didn't realize. I started this stream relatively early, thinking, it'd be good. I can do this stream, but yeah, this world just tires me out, and not like physically exerting. It's just so mellow. It's beautiful, beautiful. It's amazing. It is pretty cool. This is like the only thing that like makes me just. I think it makes me more just aware of how. I don't know, whatever influences yawning, but I seem to yawn a lot more in Journey than other stuff. Speaking of which, I just did another yawn. Tons and tons of yawnage. Oh, look at that waterfall. It's like Paradise Falls looking thing, like from up. There's a cool waterfall. And I like how the waterfall just comes out of the dirt there. I was gonna zoom in, but I realized I can't. There is a zoom button, I just don't remember what it is. I changed it. Yeah, that's for the mini map. Probably should not press buttons because I might have a hotkey set up to one of them. I started doing things to the stream. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. That is a possibility. But yeah, I guess that's. Oh Christ, I can't stop yawning now. Yo, yo, yo. I see you joined right as I was wrapping up the episode. I guess unless you have stuff to talk about, I could stick around for a bit if you have some interesting topics, but I'm topicked out myself. I should do a hidey hole actually. Perfect timing, yes. Impeccable. So the sand I might not be able to hold on to. That's okay. We did talk for a bit today, so that is fair. Go in there. I did manage to be able to hold on to everything. Right. Oh, my armor's starting to wear down a bit. I didn't even realize. Okay. Well, I guess if you got nothing, and then I'll wrap up the episode since I'm gotta get back to work and all that jazz. Beautiful stuff. But yeah. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your brief attendage, Devin. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye bye.